Alright, so today we got the UFC 309 predictions. And then let's start with the first one. We got Basil Hafez versus Oban Elliott. I'm going to go with Basil Hafez on this one. He looked really good against Jack Della Maddalena on his debut, but he has kind of decreased in performance and impressiveness since then. He looked freakishly strong in that first fight against Jack Della Maddalena. In his last one, he beat Mickey Gall, which is not the best one, and it wasn't that clear of a performance either. He looked okay, but the reason I'm going to go with him, I just still have faith in his strength compared to Oban Elliott. Oban Elliott's decent, but he's just not spectacular anywhere. He's not a finisher. He's not especially strong. Basil Hafez isn't a finisher per se either, but I do think that he is a lot stronger than Oban Elliott. I can see him able to impose his will in the clinch, in the grappling, holding him against the cage. So I got Basil Hafez by a decision. Pretty clear, pretty boring fight. Let's move on. So then we got Mickey Gall, the Basil Hafez victim, against Ramiz Brahimaj. Again, neither of these guys are very good. 7-6-0, 10-5-0, both on a losing streak. I'm going to go with Ramiz Brahimaj on this one, just because he's not Mickey Gall. 7-6 in the UFC is not the record that you want to have at all. Ramiz Brahimaj is nothing special, but he's younger. I think he's in better shape. Probably more finishing potential. I think Mickey Gall is just not going to be winning fights at this point in his career. I got Ramiz Brahimaj in this one. Alright, moving on, we got a pretty fun one. Marcin Tybura versus Jonata Diniz. Marcin Tybura, he's not bad. He's kind of between being one of those fat heavyweights and one of the good heavyweights, which is why I think he'll win this one. Jonata Diniz, I believe, he fought in Glory. I know he was a high-level kickboxer, but these kickboxers, these heavyweight kickboxers that come into MMA tend not to do very well, because for whatever reasons, heavyweights just don't train. They don't feel any need to improve their grappling, their clinch work, their takedowns, none of it. And Marcin Tybura, he's okay. He has some submissions. I don't see why he can't get that here. I think he'll be able to survive the striking, take him down, and either win a decision with the grappling or get a submission. So we're going to go with Marcin Tybura for this one. Alright, next, David Onama versus Lucas Almeida. Decent bout, should be a fun one, but these guys are pretty good strikers. I think David Onama, more powerful, a little quicker. Lucas Almeida, when I see him fight, he just doesn't seem very dangerous. David Onama's nothing crazy, but I think he'll take one. I think he'll take this one. He has more finishing potential on the feet. So we'll go with David Onama here. Alright, next we got Jim Miller versus Damon Jackson, the old head matchup. 40-37, I believe. Both UFC, well, I don't know about legends, Jim Miller at least, but both vets, respected guys. So I think Jim Miller probably has an edge in the boxing. Damon Jackson probably more well-rounded, but both of these guys are just your standard well-rounded vet. Jim Miller doesn't fight necessarily like a 40-year-old, but he doesn't fight like a 30-year-old either. And Damon Jackson is 37. I can see Jim Miller taking this one I think his grappling is just a little more powerful. I think his boxing is a little more powerful as well. If there's going to be a finish in this fight, it's going to be Jim Miller, but I think he'll take it by decision. Alright, on to the next one. We got Chris Weidman versus Eric Anders. I kind of like this one. I'm glad they moved it off of the main card. I don't think it's main card worthy, but for a prelim fight, it's good. So both these guys pretty old as well. Chris Weidman is 40. Obviously, really good fighter in his prime, especially for middleweight, well-rounded. Eric Anders, decent striker, but not the best. Not young either. I'm going to go with Chris Weidman in this one. I think this might be his last fight, and I don't think he'd be fighting if he didn't have a reason to train, to work hard for this one. So I'm going to go with Chris Weidman in this one. I think he's just more skilled in every area, and if he shows up, he should be able to win. Alright, Jonathan Martinez versus Marcus McGee. This might be the best fight on this card, actually, aside from Oliveira versus Chandler. Martinez, really good prospect. He did lose to Jose Aldo, but he looked okay in the striking compared to Aldo, which means he's a good striker. Marcus McGee, knocking people out, great prospect. He was on my prospect video, but the one caveat, he's 33 or 34. As an unranked bantamweight, to be 34, I'm not sure how much further you're going to go, but this is a great matchup to get him into the rankings maybe. But Jonathan Martinez, can't count him out. I think Marcus McGee is definitely faster, more powerful, more explosive in the boxing, but Jonathan Martinez is a great kicker, great leg kicker. So I think in order for him to win this, he's going to have to do these investment shots in the legs in the early rounds, try to chip away at Marcus McGee's strength and explosivity, speed. I think Marcus McGee wants to finish this in the early rounds, round one. I think I'm going to have to go with Marcus McGee here. Jonathan Martinez is good. I just think Marcus McGee is better, faster, more technical in the boxing, really good finishing potential. I could see it going either way, but we're going to go with Marcus McGee by first round KO here. Alright, another fun one. We got Mauricio Ruffy versus James Lontop. Another fighting nerd. We saw how that went last time with Pratis. A lot of people say Ruffy is the best one. We haven't seen that much of him, but we have seen has been impressive. And Lontop, 0-2 in the UFC, kind of a journeyman at this point in his career. So, I don't have the most to go off of here, but we're going to go with Ruffy. If he's anything near what people say he is, he should be able to win this one convincingly. And he has finished every single one of his fights, so let's go with another finish here by Ruffy. First or second round. He looks amazingly well-rounded so far, especially in the striking. Alright, next we got another pretty decent one. Bo Nickel versus Paul Craig. Finally, Bo Nickel's fighting a real fighter, not another can. So this is a massive step up for him. Paul Craig's not the best, but he's dangerous. He's beaten guys like Magomed Ankalaev. I believe Jamal Hill too. I'm not sure about that though. Very, very good fighter. Well, not very, very good, but he's a great grappler, great at submissions. I don't see how he takes Bo down here. I think his only real hope to win this fight is to maybe catch him on the feet, because Bo's striking does not look great from what I've seen. He looks powerful, he looks explosive, but technically not great. I see when he throws a lot of his shots, he ends up off balance, and he kind of relies on his superior wrestling to no one's going to shoot on him. If Paul Craig shoots on him, I mean, it's possible when he's off balance after throwing one of his big overhands or big uppercuts. Or if Bo Nickel shoots on Paul Craig and ends up just leaving a limb out there for Paul Craig to get. Or if Paul Craig ends up knocking Bo Nickel down somehow and getting on top. That would be a rare situation for Bo Nickel, and I could definitely see Paul Craig getting something there. But I feel like any of those scenarios are kind of reaching. I don't really see that happening, and we're going to go with Bo Nickel here. He's way younger, a much better pure athlete, I would say. And I think that it's going to be hard for Paul Craig to work what he wants to work in the grappling without really being able to dictate when this fight is on the ground and being at an athleticism disadvantage on the feet. So we're going to go with Paul Craig here. We're going to go with Bo Nickel here by decision. I think this is going to be hard for him, but I don't see how he would lose this one. Alright, on to the best one on the card, which it's a rematch. Kind of disappointing. I wanted to see Oliveira versus someone new, but it's still Oliveira, it's still Chandler, two good, exciting fighters. So, I think since they last fought, they've both declined, probably. Oliveira been more active, a win against Beneil Dariush, and then obviously those two losses. Smoked by Islam, and then really close fight with Arman, which honestly isn't the worst look coming into this one, because Arman is most likely the second best fighter at lightweight, and he probably could have won that, especially at 5 rounds. This one is 3 rounds, I believe, which does favor Michael Chandler, definitely a faster starter. I think in a 5-round fight, if Oliveira survives to the 4th and the 5th, there's no chance he's not getting some sort of finish. That being said, I still have Charles Oliveira in this one. Michael Chandler hasn't fought in 2 years. He's old now. He has to do something to prove that he deserves that Conor McGregor fight as well. I've seen people saying that Michael Chandler is going to take a smarter approach in this one. Maybe try to work in like some more conservative wrestling. I don't see that. He needs that Conor McGregor fight. That's what he's been working for 2 years now. He's going to go out there and try to make a statement, try to make Conor McGregor really want to fight him. And I think that's going to backfire against him. Charles Oliveira is just more technical in the striking. He's more of an instinctive finisher on the ground. Charles Oliveira can always find something. So we're going to go with Charles here. Alright, and now we got this thing here. Jon Jones versus old man Stipe Miocic. They're both old men, but Stipe is older. I mean, look at this. This is an old picture too. This is in the Reebok shorts, and he looks like an old man. Obviously Stipe was great in his prime. He probably would have given Jon Jones a really good fight. But he's just not. I don't know if you've seen the like his training footage on YouTube, Instagram, whatever. He looks like an old man throwing those punches. He looks honestly like how Mike Tyson looks these days. He's just not fit to be in a championship fight right now, especially against Jon Jones, like swimming with the weighted vest on, training with Gordon Ryan, those Olympic wrestlers, Gable Stevenson. Stipe Miocic isn't doing all of that. He's going to the gym 3 times a week, hitting pads, working his firefighting job every day, which is great, but it's not conducive to winning a fight against Jon Jones. And we all know Jon Jones is taking him down and submitting him. That's what's going to happen. This isn't an exciting fight. I'll watch it. It'll be fun to watch. It'll be disappointing to watch, and it'll feel like it's fake. It'll feel like anticlimactic for sure. But we're gonna go with Jon Jones on this one. I think he has the advantage in everything but the boxing. I can even see him staying at range, doing well with kicks, and then take down when he needs it. He'll win this fight. Once it's on the ground, Stipe has nothing for him there. So we're gonna go with Jon Jones on this one, and we'll see how it goes this Saturday. Thanks for watching, guys.